Hello guys, so far you have learned all the basic of the CSS, including display, padding, margin, and position, and just a grid with a simple animation and a full animation, and of course coloring the box inside and outside. And the last thing is a media max width. You must learn it. It is good to make it for fun. Here we come a media max width. I will explain more about that in the next courses. I explained the flex in the previous lesson, but the grid is a bit different. Of course, if you use a grid, it doesn't work the same flex, but you have to add a few codes, and I will talk about it here. But we will do it in a different way. Now, how do I explain it? First, let's add a new div in HTML similar to website, but here I don't put it in all further div because I don't want to be in the same box. I have to put it in the next line to give it a width and a height, but there is no need for a width and height. Instead of that, we use a padding. I added like a menu which we added to make our work easier in 5 seconds. Now one of my method is that I always use it of the padding. Let's add a section. Now what is a section? I choose this section so that, for example, whenever we finish a box or we want to go to the next line, and when we go to the next box, I create a new section so that it is not the same box as again. And let me show you how to use the sections so that you can understand the case better. I'm writing a section without any name for now. If you like, you can give it a name to style it. Now I call it a section in a CSS to style it, and let me type it a section in a okay. Now I call the section in a CSS without any dot or any hashtag anymore because we didn't use ID or class. It's just a code of the HTML. I will write an empty HTML code for it. I will add the padding. Let's say the top and the bottom should be 100 pixels, and for the left and the right side should be 10% like a menu, remember? It must be in the same line, otherwise no one will accept your website. And this is our section. Let me add a few up and down. Now, yep, it's good. Now, whenever you create a section to the HTML, it goes to another line with the same padding. Now, let's add an image. I will make a div for it, call it image box. Type a div and name it class image box. And for some text like this, for now, let's escape. Now let's add the image with the image and the fill src. Let's write another div called text. And I write the h1 and the p, do it with the same description. And for h1 I write about me, and for the p, lorem 10, not lorem 20. And now I go to the CSS and style it to add a background, but first we use the same code for the text. If you remember that, let's copy and paste it of the text that we added coded. Let's copy and paste of the some text h1 or the p, and paste it in a new coded. Now let be black for now, and now let be our text small. Yeah, okay, that's good. Now I set a name for section. I call it next further. Yes, let me call it in CSS and add the background same and the same size, but let's change the position. Yeah, now I write a display grid for it, then I write a grid template, then I write a grid template column. You can see it in VS Code, it will show you. Write repeat, and now open the bracket. Let's be in the 2 and the 2FR. And the align item center. Align item, presenter center. Now I will explain what this is, but first style our image. I call it in a CSS and write a max width be 100%. It must use it for the media phone, and now I add the width and height like the same website. And now let's change the color of the text be white and let be center. Use a text align. Let me add a line height for a P. A little. Let me add a line height a little for the P code. And okay, we done it. Now look at this box with this code that I type with the grid. See, I did something so that these two div are facing each other. This 2 means that I have 2 boxes that I want to be in front of each other. If there were 3, I would put a 3. You number it according to the number of the boxer. If you want to make a distance for 2 div in a display, write a grid gap to increase the distance. Let me type it, grid gap, and you could show it. Okay, press enter. And for the distance, add 15 pixels is enough to it. Now, what is the difference with the flex and the grid? Let's see if we use a flex like this, but the grid, if you want to set up your website on your phone, for example, it is enough to make this to be a 1 to make sure that all the boxes be a 1 and be in another line. And the flex has no ability to do that, but if you put a justify content on the center, it will be changed. But I think the main reason is that if you want boxing to be more like this, for example, you can make it smaller like this or this. I know that it have other users code. They use that I don't use. That I don't use a complicated code. I don't think anyone care how much of a genius you are who uses this code. If you make this website in the easiest way, it doesn't matter anymore. Well, this is a lesson grid. I hope you understand the grid, guys. If you have a problem in a grid or a flex, remember to go to this website or Screenba and read this article or go to see other tutorial. See you in the next tutorial, guys.